5,000 feet is proposed. Rain gardens built through the RIVERSMART Homes program infiltrate water into the on-site soils after treatment by the rain garden soil mix has occurred. Selecting the right plant species also affects the success or failure of a rain garden. Woody and herbaceous perennial plants native to the District of Columbia are recommended. The district provides assistance in selecting native plants that can live in the unusual varying soil conditions of a rain garden and can quickly transpire groundwater up into the atmosphere. A rain garden typically has 3 planting zones. The deepest portion of the garden may hold standing water for 24 to 72 hours, but plants that can tolerate flooding and drought conditions are necessary in this zone. Plants on the slope are occasionally flooded but are not required to endure moisture extremes. Plants at the top of the garden are rarely flooded and should be drought tolerant. When a site is being developed, the rain garden area needs to be fenced off to prevent any impact from vehicles or other construction activities that may compact the soil. Additionally, erosion and sediment control devices need to seal off the garden area from stormwater runoff during the construction phase. Finally, any ditches dug or pipes installed for inflow or outflow prior to completion of the garden bed must have watertight seals to ensure water does not enter the bedding area until the garden has been approved by the inspector. To prevent damage, the rain garden should be built after all other construction has been completed or after the site has been stabilized. After sediment controls are in place, excavation may begin. Outline the area to be excavated. For homeowners, place 2 stakes on opposite sides of the garden. Tie a string to the 2 stakes just above ground level. Use a level to make sure the string is horizontal. Request expert assistance for leveling if the rain garden is proposed for a sloped yard. A berm or sloped ridge needs to be formed on the lower outside of the rain garden. The height of the berm should be no higher than the elevation of the inlet. This soil for the berm needs to be firmly compacted to avoid future erosion. Excavate with hand shovel or backhoe. Never allow any vehicle or piece of equipment to enter within the garden bed area. Measure the depth from the horizontal string along the top of the garden site to ensure the base is level. A level base is important so that water spreads evenly as it infiltrates. If water pools at one end, the garden may become less functional after many hard rains. When the garden is level and dug to the proper depth, break up the remaining soil to the desired depth. For contractors, install the observation well as required in the plan. Measure to be sure that the top is flush with the grade level. Immediately screw on the PVC scheduled 40 watertight top as soon as the pipe is installed. This top may never be removed except to inspect water levels. If the design calls for a perforated underdrain or an overflow pipe to be installed within the planting bed, install it at this time. Surround the pipe with a layer of stone aggregate. Rain gardens regulated by a district permit for new construction need an inspection by a district official at this point before installing the planting bed. If a base layer of sand is used, then add the sand and make it level with a rake. Install the stone aggregate and soil mix by hand, shovel, or backhoe. Fill the layers to within 2 inches of the intended surface elevation. Continue to use the level horizontal string as your guideline. Level the top of the bed with a rake. Mid-size rocks are placed at the outfall of the rain garden inlet. The velocity of the stormwater inflow is often very high and will create erosion within the rain garden. The rocks dissipate that force. The rocks must be large enough to stay in place against the force of the water. Install the plants, starting at the middle of the garden and working out to the berm. Plant slightly above the soil elevation as they will sink into the loose soil media when they are watered. Any trees planted in a garden need staking, as the soil is not firmly compacted for support. After the plants are in place, spread about 2 inches of composted hardwood mulch. The mulch should be aged for at least 12 months, uniform in color, and free of foreign or plant material. When complete, carefully brush the mulch away from the stalk or trunk of the plants to prevent rotting or disease to the plants. Deeply water the entire garden with a gentle spray for 14 consecutive days after planting. And now you can stand back and watch the garden grow and manage your stormwater while you enjoy its beauty. The RIVERSMART Homes program provides technical advice and in some cases financial assistance. For more information, please call the District Department of the Environment at 202-535-2240.